Alladale, a rather beautiful and isolated estate deep in the mountains of Sutherland. Its charismatic owner, Paul Lister, has converted the main residence and 2 bothies into a 5-star retreat in order to help him fulfill his dreams of replanting indigenous Caledonian forestry and reintroducing extinct species like the wolf to the Scottish Highlands.
Charlie!
Paul,
How are you?
very well, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you.
Sorry about this, a bit of a prank.
No, it's
Anyway.
great. I was going to ask you about the reintroduction of wolves, but you've beaten me to it.
Well, it's just a little prank I do for new people that are coming. Haven't met me before.
classic.
They always sort of call me the Wolfman, but I'm not really.
Guests to Alladale can opt to stay at the main house, which boasts luxurious bedrooms, great facilities, spacious but cosy sitting rooms, and a full complement of staff, including an award-winning chef on hand to cater to your every whim. Alternatively, if greater privacy is required, then the 2 cottages afford uninterrupted solitude further up the glen.
Part of what I'm doing up here, we need to bring people up to stay and visit with us, and it's not everyone's sort of cup of tea to stay at the big lodge where you've got to bring up maybe a dozen people to make a real atmosphere. So there's an opportunity people come down here and you can be a couple or you can bring 3 or 4 couples and families. It's perfect for that.
And do people come up here in the winter as well?
They do. Last winter was a very severe winter, as you probably remember, and we had a good metre of snow around here and people went snowshoeing and they love it. They go out tracking the animals in the snow, so it's wonderful.
So do you think ecotourism is the way forward for Scotland?
Absolutely. We like to travel to exotic places, we like to go to the sun or the beach, and we like to go to Africa, but right on our own doorstep, we've got spectacular landscape, and we've got also amazing culture up here, and we've got fantastic food, which is what your program is all about.
Absolutely.
Money raised by hospitality and tourism at Alladale is ploughed back into the estate to fund a number of bold environmental and educational projects, also involving the local community where possible. Perhaps the least controversial of these being the widespread replanting of woodland.
This place was very different years ago. It would have been cloaked with forest. These hills here would have been cloaked in trees. And over the centuries, it's been cleared, and the forest has been cleared for shipbuilding, 2 world wars, industrial revolution, British Empire expansion, and so on. And I just thought it would be a great idea actually to put something back. It's just an opportunity. And I think the Scottish Highlands need it.
So you're replanting, and that's going on there?
Yeah. So we're actually going to be planting like about 200,000 trees in this valley just here to augment the old woods that are still remaining there. So Charlie, this is a remnant old growth forest, and there's not many left in the Highlands. But this is one, and you can see some of the trees around. These are about sort of up to 400 years old.
Scottish pine?
Yep, Scots pine, and there's quite a bit of birch here, and there'll be some rowan, maybe some alder, some juniper. And the Romans used to call this area the Great Wood of Caledon. I kind of like the sound of that. But actually, it's kind of a dead zone now. It's missing the creatures that were once here years and years ago. It needs to have back things like red squirrels, for instance. There's no red squirrels here. So we're working on a project to get those back to this part of Sutherland. The Scottish wildcat, wildcats that we already have in the Grampians, they're not here up in the north of Scotland, in this area. So, we're going to start breeding some wildcats.
And wolves, of course.
It's been proven the environmental and ecological benefits of having wolves back into an ecosystem in Yellowstone. Since they arrived back in the mid-90s, they've done huge amount of work in reducing elk numbers. And that's had a significant impact on the aspen trees in the riparian areas in particular.
And the forest is returning?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As well as recruiting wolves to help restore the forestry, Paul also wants to bring back other species like the European elk, but there is still insufficient vegetation for them to survive in the wild.
For the time being, they're here in this enclosure, and I think it's going to be some time yet before we see moose on the loose. Hello. You gonna come and say hi? See, I have a secret weapon. A banana. Hey, look at that. Smell that banana. Yeah? Oh yeah, oh yeah. See this pouch that hangs underneath there? That's actually like a rooster's comb. It's there to attract the ladies. But it's not doing a very good job at the moment because she's right back there in the trees. You can't really see her. Might need to grow a slightly bigger pouch, mate.
A more successful project has been the reintroduction of wild boar, which, although proving unpopular with the Ramblers Association, is doing wonders for the forestry, as Ranger Monk explained.
We use the wild boar as a management tool actually here. You can see some of the work around us where they've rooted around and dug all the bracken and the heather up, and it creates a lovely little seed bed for trees and natural regeneration of the land. You see a lot of berries sprouting up through where it was. You see a little friend scratching herself there.
Yeah, that's quite a popular scratching post.
Yeah,
there,
it does seem to be, yeah.
So is the plan to release them throughout the glen on a much larger scale?
In the long term, yes. At the moment they're covered under a dangerous wild animals license, so we need to keep them all fenced in. But in the long term, yes, certainly it would be lovely to see the boar out and about on the hillside.
They do look very dangerous right now.
They certainly are. I mean, they're very aggressive little animals. But in truth, you know, you do have to watch them. In the wild, they are a lot more aggressive than these pigs here. They're used to human contact now, which is handier for us. You know, we can go in there and really get involved with them.
I'm here in the lodge kitchen with our resident chef, Peter Cullen, who's going to be cooking Cullen's skink.
It is a very traditional Scottish dish, very simple but full of flavour. It's quite a poverty soup.
You've got your own kind of version of it.
Yeah, I think every chef has their own version of it.
Oh, amazing how quickly the smell starts to rise up when you put
just
garlic and onions in a nice hot pan of butter. It's kind of the herald to so many different dishes. Once you've got that going, you know, the world is your lobster.
Yeah, for definite. Now, just a spoonful of Dijon mustard.
So I'll stir that in, right?
You're doing a lovely job there, Charlie.
There we are.
Yeah, I'm going to stick in a couple of bays because I like bay with fish. Yeah, with the fish.
So. Oh, wish you could smell that. That's just sensational.
So Charlie, what we've got here is like we're diced a potato.
Okay.
Something that's got to break down slightly as we're cooking.
And thicken it up.
And thicken the soup as the starches come out. Yeah.
Sure.
Now we're going to turn down the heat slightly.
Yep.
Just cover this in some milk, so it's just submerged. And then just for an extra bit of richness,
chuck some
I'm just
double
going to add
cream
some
in.
double cream. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're just going to let it gently simmer for 10 to 15 minutes before we put the haddock in. We don't want the haddock to be overcooked.
Well, while we wait, I think we should have a beer. Now tell me about Doric, because you speak Doric, don't you?
It's like slang terms, if you want.
For example?
Your shirt being a sark.
A sark.
Yeah, and if you were cold, you'd maybe put a gansey on, which would be...
Cold as in you're cold,
yeah,
you put on a gansey, which is
a jumper.
A jumper.
Yeah, a sweater. So, I think you're sick and from each other.
What does that mean?
It would mean, what are you wanting from me, Charlie?
Well, you see, I'm already lost.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's like Gaelic. You know, it really is.
It is like Gaelic.
It's more than a dialect.
Yeah, it is more than a dialect. And like I say, the old timers in the village that I'm from, I might even struggle to understand what they're saying sometimes. So it's good to get back home now and again. Right, so this has been simmering away, Charlie, for 10-15 minutes. I'm just going to check the vegetables, and we can see there that the potatoes are still holding their shape.
They are, but they're just...
they're cooked.
Let's
get onto
the haddock.
And again, I'm going to cut this, not finely, I'm going to cut it into nice big chunks. Yeah?
Good.
Just get a couple of minutes in the soup, and it's going to be warmed through, and then I'm going to...
And that'll give it enough time to let the flavour blend in with the base.
That smoked flavour is lovely.
Yeah.
So by putting this in it then, once everything else is cooked, Charlie, it's just got to keep its shape. You just give that a little stir. I'm going to chop some chives to garnish, slice you some fresh bread, and then we're ready to plate up.
And we're good to go.
Charlie, I'm just going to make sure that we get plenty of vegetables in the first couple of scoops, and we're smoked haddock.
Decent amount of haddock.
And then I'm just going to take some of our cooking liquor, fill in there. And if you just want to
add the chives,
artistically sprinkle the chives across.
Sprinkle the chives.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful bowl of Peter Cullen's skink, Charlie.
Perfect.
Enjoy.
I shall. Just nick that spoon there. Give this a go.
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect. Just the right consistency, not too flaky.
Thank you.
That is an easy dish to cook, and it's a signature Scottish dish as well. Spot on. Well, it's been a really moving experience coming here to Alladale and seeing all the hard work everyone's been putting in to create an unspoilt corner of the Scottish Highlands. And I think it's going to be some time yet before we see wolves and bears padding along these freshly reforested hillsides, but this has to be part of the future for tourism in Scotland.